students. So in the previous class we have learnt about the Bohr's model, and in that model we have learned that energy is quantized in every energy level, and we have also learnt about the spectrum of hydrogen. Now we move on to the merits of the Bohr's model. Now when we talk about this, we come back to the spectrum of hydrogen. Now this was the greatest problem. Now spectrum of hydrogen. We have seen that we got discrete lines. Sharp lines are obtained in the spectrum of hydrogen. Now the problem was, if that is hydrogen has got only one electron. Now that one electron moves from one energy level to another energy level, we should be getting only one line. But we saw in the spectrum of hydrogen that several lines were obtained into various regions. That is, several series were obtained, several series of lines, that is the Lyman series, Brackett series, Balmer series, Pfund series. All these different series of lines were obtained into the various regions, that is your visible region, then UV region and IR region. So when there is only one electron, how come different lines, so many discrete lines are obtained in various regions? So this was the greatest problem. Now although this was a problem, but Bohr itself, he solved this problem and he provided an explanation to this, and it was one of the merits of the Bohr's model. There is an explanation for this discrepancy was provided. Now what was the explanation? That is, when the atomic spectrum of hydrogen was studied, how was it studied? If you remember, in the previous videos I have shown you, that is, into the discharge tube, hydrogen gas was taken at an extremely low pressure, and into the discharge tube an electric charge, that is a discharge that has been passed. Now into the discharge tube, when a discharge or an electric charge that has been passed, the hydrogen which is there, that is hydrogen which is in the gaseous state, or hydrogen in any form which is there, the molecules of hydrogen are there. So the molecules of hydrogen, they breaks down. Now as the molecules of hydrogen breaks down, it will give rise to many atoms of hydrogen. So if there are many atoms, you imagine if there are many atoms of hydrogen, each atom having an electron. So many atoms of hydrogen having, each atom of hydrogen having an electron. Now that so many atoms of hydrogen, obviously each one having one electron over there, and those electrons will move on to different energy levels. So obviously when many atoms are there and each atom having one electron, obviously those electrons will be moving to the different energy level. So obviously many lines will be obtained, many discrete lines will be obtained instead of only one line. So let me show you over here how it is actually happening, how we get different series of lines over here. So these are the different series of lines into the various regions that is over here. If look here, if the electron, that is the electron, I told you electron gets excited from ground state to the higher energy level. When it is in the ground state, that is in the K shell. When electron is in the K shell, it is in the ground state. Now if the electron may be in the K shell, now look here, where value of n is equals to 1. The electron goes over here, that is from here, that is from when the value of n is 1, it will go to the second energy level, that is 2, and again it may fall down. Not may fall down, it has to fall down after a time of 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. So from here it goes up and again it falls down. The electron may go from first energy level to the over here to the third energy level also, and it has to fall down. It may go from this energy level to the fourth energy level, it has to fall down. Or from here number 1 to, that is the first energy level, to the fifth energy level and falls down. Or first energy level to the sixth energy level falls down, or over here from the first energy level to the seventh energy level and falls down. From wherever it is falling down, that is, it is coming to the first energy level back over here, because it was originally over here into this first energy level, and it gives rise to a series of lines, that is a Lyman series. And Lyman series is a short wavelength, that is in the range of 920 to 1200 angstrom into the ultraviolet region. Now look here, suppose the excited electron returns to the ground state, that is K shell. I have already written down all these values so that I don't have to give much time, the video will be shorter. That is, if the electron, the excited electron returns to the ground state, that is from wherever it has gone, it is coming back over here to the K shell. So N1's value will be 1 and N2's value will be, that is 2, from wherever it is written, whether it is written from second energy level or third energy level, from fourth or fifth or sixth. So depending on the N2 value will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. Now we get the general formula, that is for the wave number, the general formula is V bar is equals to R 1 by N1 square by minus 1 by N2 square. This is the general formula for finding out the wave number, where R is a Rydberg's constant. R is equals to Rydberg's constant, and value of R, that is I already gave you, that is value of R, that is Rydberg's constant. Let me write down the value once again, that is 109677, that is the value of R. Yes, the value of R will be, that is R is equals to, R is the Rydberg's constant 109679 per centimeter. This is the value of this constant, that is a Rydberg's constant. Okay, so in this way we get, that is the Lyman series over here. Next, suppose when the excited electron, suppose here electron is in the second energy level, it is going to the third energy level, it can go to the wherever it is going to the fourth energy level, fifth energy level, sixth energy level or seventh energy level, it falls down, it has to fall down. So if it falls down, it gives rise to a series of lines, that is the Balmer series, which is in the your intermediate wavelength. The wavelength is from 4000 to 6500 angstrom, it lies into the visible region. So we can write on that is when the excited electron returns to L shell, that is second energy level, it was over here, it is going up and it is coming to the L shell. That is N1 will be 2 and N2 will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So V bar, that is the wave number, is equals to R, that is Rydberg's constant 1 by this 2 square minus 1 by N2 square. Whatever, depending, this N2 will depend on from where it is written. It is returning from third energy level, fourth energy level, fifth energy level or sixth energy level. And it gives rise to the series, that is the Balmer series. Now next, suppose if an electron is into this, that is in the third energy level, and is going to, from third it is going to the fourth energy level, or it may go to the fifth energy level, it may go to the sixth energy level, or it may go to the seventh energy level. Wherever it is going, it is coming back over here in the within the time 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. It has to return back into this time, that is 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. It has to return back. It returns back. So depending on this, we get the value, that is N1's value will be 3 because it was over here, and N2's value will be 4, 5, 6, 7 depending on from where it is returning. V bar we get by the formula as R, Rydberg's constant, into 1 by 3 square, because this is 3, minus 1 by N2 square. Now this is your, it is in the, it rise, that is the Paschen series. It is a long wavelength and it lies in the IR region, where the wavelength is 9500 angstrom to 18750 angstrom. Now next we come to the fourth series over here, that is the bracket series. That is the excited electron. The electron may be over here and it goes up, either it from fourth it goes to fifth energy level or sixth energy level or seventh energy level, and it falls down within this time, that is 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. 10 raised to minus 8 seconds, that is within this time it has to come back. So depending on this, that is a bracket, that is excited electron returns to N shell over here. So N1 value will be what? 4 over here, because this is the fourth energy level. N2's value will be 5, 6, 7. So V bar we get, that is R, Rydberg's constant, 1 by N1 square. N1 square is 4 square minus 1 by N2 square. Now this is the wavelength will be 19,450 to 40,500 angstrom. It lies in the IR region, that is the infrared region. Then next we come over here from the bracket series. These belongs to the Pfund series. That is, suppose the excited electron comes to O shell, that is N's value is 5 over here. Look here, N's value is 5. This particular place, N's value is 5 over. The electron was over here. It goes either to the 6th energy level. It may go to the 7th energy level. Whether it is going to the 6th energy level or to the 7th energy level, it falls back over over here within this time, that is 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. And the series of lines that is obtained over here is called as the that is the Pfund series over here. So the excited electron, it comes to the O shell. It comes back to the O shell, and N1's value will be what? 5, because it's 5 over here. Look here, N1's value is 5, and N2's value will be what? Whether it's going to the 6 or 7, from wherever it is returning, N's value will be determined basis on that. So it is a long wavelength whose it lies in the region that is 37,800 to 75,000 angstrom. I repeat once again, Pfund series, that is 37,800 angstrom to 75,000 angstrom, and that lies in the IR region. And we get the value of V bar, that is wave number is equals to R, that is Rydberg's constant 1 by N1 square. Value of N1 is 5 square minus 1 by N2 square. So in this way, the explanation to the spectrum of hydrogen was provided by the Bose model, and this was one of the merit of the Bose model. Next we move on to the next merit of the Bose model. That is, according to we got the energy of an electron. The second, this was the first merit. Energy of an electron can be determined. Energy of an electron, it can be determined. Suppose if an electron is the N energy level, N can be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will represent En. That is the whichever energy level it is. This will be given by the formula, that is minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. This is epsilon 0 squared into, that is 2 pi squared me squared raised to, that is me raised to 4. 2 pi square me raised to 4, and this will be upon n square h square. Now h is a Planck's constant. I am writing down h is equals to Planck's constant. Pi is a constant. M is the mass of the electron. Mass of electron. E is what? E is equals to the charge on the electron. That is E's value. Charge on the electron. What is epsilon? Epsilon 0. That is a permittivity. Permittivity in free space. We can write down permittivity in free space or in air. That is, or in air. That is in the electron where it has been permitted. Then n is the mass of the electron, h is a constant. So all these values we can substitute, and at the same time this whole value, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. This has got it, this on calculating this value we get this value, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9 and Newton meter squared Coulomb raised to minus 2. This is the value of this. So if we substitute the value into this equation, that is 9 into 10 raised to 9 over here, instead this is the value, this whole thing we'll substitute over here. We'll substitute the values of all these constants. Then we'll be getting, there is substituting all these values, En will be getting minus 2.718 into 10 raised to minus 18 joules per atom upon n square. Now what is n square? N is what? Number of shell or number of orbit. Whether the electron is in the first orbit or the second shell, whatever it is. So we get this equation over here, that is energy of an electron can be found out by this equation, which further when you just substitute the values into this, when you further calculate, that is joules per atom, and joules per atom will convert into kilojoules. So we will be getting this 1312 by n square kilojoule per mole. That is, instead of per atom, we have all the conversions. You don't have to do anything. You just have to learn this equation. That is just, you simply have to learn this equation. Now suppose We further simplify this now for species containing only one electron. For species which contains only one electron. Containing only one electron, this equation, it will take the form. Now which species got only one electron? For example, He plus or Li 2 plus. Now He plus, we know helium, that is 2 4, that is 2 electrons are there. One electron, if it loses, it gets a charge, that is it gets one positive charge. Similarly lithium, atomic number we know it's 3, so we know the electronic configuration 2 1. So if 2 electrons have been lost over here, it will be left with one, or suppose it is losing 3 electrons are there, and if it loses 2 electrons, so it will be getting the 2 positive charge over here, because 2 electrons, total 3 electrons. From the 3 electrons, if 2 electrons are lost, it will be getting 2 positive charge. I hope it's clear. Look here, lithium 3, it's losing 2 electrons, so it will be getting the 2 positive charge. It will be getting converted into Li2 plus. So for species containing only one, so if 2 electrons are left, how many electrons are been is present over there? Only 1 electron. So for species which contains only 1 electron, such as your helium He plus or Li2 plus, it gets the form, that is En is equals to -1312 upon N square, and over here that is Z square kilojoule per mole. Now look here, that is this Z square is what? Z square is a Z is what? Z is equals to the nuclear charge. Nuclear charge, or it is also equal to the atomic number. Atomic number of the species. Atomic number of the species. So by this we can find out the value of the electron in any energy level. Now what you have to do, you don't have to go through the derivation. According to our syllabus, you don't need the derivation, you simply need to learn this. This equation is very, very important. That is, if you have been given any numerical based, particularly you will be given the numerical based on this, as far as my experience says, you will just be substituting the value of Z, that is the atomic number of a particular atom. You are very well versed with the atomic numbers. So you will just be substituting the value of the atomic number, and you will be calculating this. N is what? N is the energy level. You will be getting the energy of an electron in a particular energy level. Now look here, this value, that is from here, right from here, there is a negative sign over here. Here also there is a negative sign over here. Now what does this imply? Suppose if an electron in a particular, in the nth energy level. Now nth energy level, we don't know which energy level. It can be infinite. So if it is infinite, nth energy level, we don't know which energy level. We have got just a general equation. We have not calculated on basis of a particular orbit or a particular energy level. We have not calculated on the basis of n is equals to 1 or n is equals to 2. So n, let us consider it, they have considered, the scientists, they consider that n's value is infinite, where the electron may be anywhere. N's value may be anywhere, that is infinite. So if an electron is at an infinite distance from the nucleus, the force of attraction of the nucleus to the electron is just negligible, or we can consider that as 0. So we can say that is the value, that is E energy at this particular place, that is the force of attraction where the electron is at an infinite distance. We represent this as E infinite, energy will be 0. So the electron, we can say, is out of boundary of, that is out of boundary of an atom. It's not exactly out of boundary of an atom, it is within the atom, but so far off. It is within the atom, but is so far off that the force of attraction from the nucleus is just negligible, or it is near to 0. Then at the same time, suppose when the electron is near to the nucleus, if it is in the first shell or the second shell, when it comes near to the nucleus, there is a force of attraction due to the nucleus, and we will find that because as the electron experiences the force of attraction, the energy of the system decreases. Energy of the system, the whole system decreases. When it comes nearer and nearer to the nucleus, this energy of the system goes on decreasing, it comes to a zero value and finally it gets a negative value. That is, after zero the negative value starts, and hence we got this general equation. That is, the values will be in negative over here. That is, we put a negative sign over here. I hope it's clear. So this was we can say this was the second merit. That is, the energy of the electron becomes negative, zero or even less than zero. That is, it gets the negative value. So this was the second merit. That is, the energy of the electron can be determined by the relationship given by the Bohr's model. Second is, from this he also gave the relationship to find out the radius. Let us see. That is, radius of a particular orbit. Radius of a particular orbit. It can be found out from this model, the relationship given by Bohr. That is, let us consider as the radius of the nth orbit. Radius of the nth orbit, that is Rn, he gave the formula to find out, that is 4 pi epsilon 0. This will be within the bracket n squared h squared upon 4 pi square m e raised to 4. So this was the relationship which the Bohr gave. That is, your radius of the nth orbit, that is 4 pi epsilon 0 n squared h squared upon 4 pi square m e raised to 4, where your pi is a constant, epsilon 0 I told you some time back, that is a permittivity in the free space, that is also a constant. We have also seen the value of this constant, that is 4 pi epsilon 0. Then n is the number of the orbit, h is a Planck's constant, m is the mass of the electron, and e is the electronic charge on the electron. So when we substitute all these values, once you substitute all these values, that is Rn, will be getting the value, that is 5.29 into 10 raised to minus 11 n square n, that is in meter. We convert into centimeter. Now that is 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter, 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. So we will convert it over here. So we get this when we convert, that is 5.29 into 10 raised to minus 9 n square centimeter. Okay. Now this is in centimeter. Now 1 centimeter is equals to 10 raised to 8 angstrom. 1 centimeter is equals to 10 raised to 8 angstrom. So we convert into angstrom. That is equals to 0.529 into 0.529 n square angstrom. So simply these conversions that we are doing. So here you will need to learn, that is this particular equation. This is important. That is, you will be learning, you need not learn, this equation will be used for solving the numericals. They may ask you to solve that, usually they ask you to solve it into this, that is into the angstrom. So it will be just, your n is what? N is what? Number of energy level. You will substitute the value of number of energy level and you will be calculating the radius of the nth orbit, whichever orbit that they ask you to find out. So these were the 4 merits of your 4 merits of the Bohr's model. That is, Bohr's model has given us these values. He gave us the equation to find out the energy of the electron. He gave us the equation to find out the radius of an orbit. Then he has also provided an explanation for discrete lines into the spectrum of atomic spectrum of hydrogen. Now next on, let us move to the demerits of the Bohr's model. There is the drawbacks of the Bohr's model. Now let me first tell you. Okay, one more thing. Before we proceed to the demerits of the Bohr's model, one more thing that is I forgot to tell you, that is about the atomic spectrum of hydrogen, which I explained you some time back. So as I told you that from the Bohr's model we get the formula for finding out the energy of an electron in a particular energy level, which I have shown you just now. So we already know that the general formula for finding out the energy of an electron is 1 by 4 pi epsilon square into 2 pi pi square m e raised to 4 n square h square. Although I give you short form of the equation, and for your simplicity you will be learning that short form of the equation. Now let's see what are the different aspects, that is how we simplify this equation. That is we have used a particular relationship for the atomic spectrum of hydrogen also. Now when an electron is in a particular energy level, n1 can be 1, n1 can be 2, it goes to a higher energy level and it comes back. That is, it gets de-excited, where the value of n2 will depend on from wherever it has been falling back. And the difference in the energy, that is delta E, that is we can find out when an electron has been transiting from one energy level to the next and then falling down, how much is the difference in the energy level. So we can use the formula that is delta E. We can find out that is delta E will be our delta E, as I already told you, that is E2 minus E1. That is, we find out the difference in the energy level, that the energy is been absorbed or the energy that has been emitted. Now this is a general equation where the electron in the nth energy level. Now suppose if the electron is n1, so we get this equation that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 square into 2 pi square m e raised to 4. Then n's value will be what? N1 square h square, where all others are the constant. If the electron is in the n2 energy level, from n1 energy level it is going to n2 energy level and it's been falling back. So this will be 1 by minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 square into 2 pi square m e raised to 4, and here instead of the general n square will be writing down n2 square h square. All these are the constant except this. So here delta E will be what? That is delta V will be what? E2 minus E1, that is En2. We can write down because we are taking over here En2. So delta E will be En2 because it has been falling from the second energy level to the first energy level En1. So delta E will be what? En2 minus En1. So when you just substitute all these values, we will be getting the general equation, that is this comes up, and you just bring this into the bracket, that is, so we will be getting over here, that is 2 pi square m e raised to 4, 4 pi epsilon square h square, 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Now we also have a relationship according to the Planck's equation. Planck has given an equation for the change in energy, that is delta is equals to hv. This was given by the scientist Planck, that is delta E is equals to hv. Now V is what? V is equals to C into V bar. Now what is V? V is a frequency, C is a velocity, and V bar is a wave number. I repeat once again, this relationship was given by Planck. This is a Planck's equation, delta is equals to hv. That is change in energy. He gave the relationship, that is change in energy is equals to h, that is Planck's constant, into V. What is V? That is a frequency. Now V is also equal to C into V bar. Now what is C? That is velocity, and V bar is what? Wave number. So we can substitute this value of V over here, that is instead of V we will be substituting what? CV. So we get over here delta is equals to H C V bar. And what is V bar? V bar is also equal to, that is V bar is also equal to 1 by lambda. That is, we have already studied all these values, that is V bar is equals to 1 by lambda. So we'll just substitute these values, that is delta is equals to hc V bar. We don't have to do anything with the wavelength right now. So we'll just substitute these values. So look here, delta is equals to hc V bar. So delta is also equal to this. Let this be our equation 1. Delta is also equal to this. Let this be equation 2. So we can write down this hc V bar is equal to 2 pi square m e raised to 4 pi epsilon 0 square h square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Therefore we get this, that is V bar. We bring this C over here and H over here. So C and this H we bring over here, this will become H cube. We get this whole equation gets the form 2 pi square m e raised to 4 pi epsilon 0 square h cube C into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Now this whole term is a constant, that is a Rydberg's constant. So we get this equation, that is V bar is equals to R into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. The value of this R is this one, that is R is a Rydberg's constant, and the value of Rydberg's constant 0.1099679 per centimeter, which you will be using for your calculation. And you will be using, that is this equation, is your important equation. Clear everyone? So this is how we get the value of energy levels, that is we get the energy of an electron in various energy levels. We also get that is Bohr's model was also able to find out the radius of the various energy level. Let me see if I missed out any point. Okay, so everything that has been covered with you. One thing over here that is I missed out, that is V bar is also equal to 1 by lambda. Look here, we are writing down over here V bar is what? V bar is also equal to 1 by lambda, but over here we don't need to substitute everywhere over here, so no substitution of this is required. So we just take this only. This is just only for your information, that is what is V bar, that is wave number is the reciprocal of the wavelength. What is wave number? Wave number is the reciprocal of the, that is wave number is equals to 1 by lambda, that is your 1 by this wavelength. Clear? So we stop over here and then we'll continue with the next part. Thank you, students.